Alright, what's up guys? How's everybody doing out there? Today I'm going to go over all the injuries I've had as a result of power moving, or the injuries that I've got throughout my journey through power moving, b-boying, whatever you want to call it. And I'll go through the methods that I've used to try and help cure those injuries, and the methods that I think worked, kind of worked, and didn't work really at all. So yeah, let's start out. First injury that I got was, I believe I dislocated my shoulder, left arm. I was doing a 90 and it just popped out. And I remember it hurting really bad and I just lost all control and just yeah, and I was just like, oh dang. Didn't really use any methods to help heal that. I just kind of gave it a day's rest, and honestly it was very minor because it just stopped hurting, but it always kind of irritated me after that, but it wasn't anything major. And after that, let's see, then I chipped my tooth, was doing a windmill, bit down on it, tooth chipped, got that fixed at the dentist, no methods there. Okay, that was lame. Okay, next one is the first major injury. The first one that put me out for 2 weeks was I, at the time, it was a year into b-boying, power moving. I was practicing head spins to elbow tracks because all I really had at the time was head spins, windmills, and these weird elbow spins. But yeah, I was practicing head spin to elbow track because I wanted to be able to do a head spin to an elbow track, yeah. And I wasn't wearing any elbow pads. And you have these things called Bursitis inside of your joints, inside of your elbows and your knees and shoulders and stuff, major joints, that help give you fluid motion. And I kept hitting my elbow over and over again with no pad on my left one, because I was jumping off of it, but I was also landing on my right one. But my left one gave out before, because my bursa swelled up one day when I was sitting in class, and I put it on my desk and it hurt when I hit the desk. It just hurt. I was like, ah, and it got worse and worse over the night. The next day, it was really swollen. I couldn't move my arm, and it was also hot the next day too. I was like, oh, what the heck? And I felt like I had the flu. And then I still went to go train that day, but I couldn't do anything. And I was like, something's wrong. I went to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with bursitis, with it was infected though with cellulitis. That's inflammation of your an inflammation underneath the skin that was caused by bacteria infection. And later I found out it was a staph infection. But that freaking staph infection, it spread from just this little zone to here, and I went back to the hospital, and then it spread to here, and they had me keep coming back and forth. They gave me new antibiotics and stuff, and finally something worked. Still I know no treatments that I've really tried to apply myself. We're getting to that. But yeah, so they gave me a bunch of antibiotics and stuff. Oh man, and just finally this one, it was Bactrim. It seemed to work, and I had this freaking nasty infection all up my arm, man. I was afraid they were gonna cut my arm off. That was horrible. That put me out for 2 weeks. So yeah, warning there. I'm sorry, I don't want to scare anybody out there, but if you're doing things on your elbows, man, I would definitely suggest you guys wear elbow pads, just because even just getting bursitis, or I think you guys call them swellbows. That could just be bursitis, but mine got infected with staph, and that was horrible. Alright, so I just want to share that with you guys. I probably should have shared that with you guys before, I'm sorry. But yeah, it took me 2 weeks to get over, and after that I just did some light cardio to get back into it, did some light weightlifting, took it really slow, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, come back into it, but I didn't really have anything at the time. Then after that I got my wisdom teeth pulled 4 weeks after that, so that put me out again. And but then I recovered from that, so then coming into the next year, that was wisdom teeth were pulled out in December, and then January, February, March. Then I decided I started wanting to learn the air flare. So I learned the air flare. That went good solid for about a year. Then this is my first injury where I started experimenting with a bunch of different types of try to cure it. So after about 8 months into the air flare, I was practicing air flare 5 days a week, about 30 minutes a day. And then after I did the air flare, I would go 30 minutes doing flares and windmills to flares for about 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then take Saturday and Sunday off. So I was doing this every day. Now I remember I had to go to work at 6 in the morning. This is kind of how this injury came about, how I think it came about, is my roommate was sick, he was coughing all night, I stayed up, I'm not blaming this on him, I'm just saying, I just couldn't fall asleep because he was coughing, and then I had to go to work at 6, so I stayed up the whole night, man, no bad, horrible sleep, go to work, and then after work I was so excited to go train the air flares. I was so determined to get those damn air flares, man. I was so determined, so I was excited, and it kind of actually kept me from sleep, I remember. But yeah, so then I go train those air flares, and then I get sick because no sleep. My roommate was sick. I caught his sickness. My immune system was down. You know, everything was just down. It was bad. You know, eating the cafeteria food and stuff. And then so I get sick for 2 days. After I was done getting sick, you know, everything was good. I still trained when I was sick. I think it was some bad cold with a cough. It was horrible. After that, I remember practicing air flares for 30 minutes. It was good. Then I went to go practice flares, and then I was doing a windmill to a flare. So I was doing a windmill to a flare, come back up on my left because I go counterclockwise. So I was, you know, stabbed with my left, and I remember it pinching right here, man. This like little tendon right here, and it hurt a little bit. And I was like, oh dang, you know. And then I just kind of took it easy the rest of the day. Went to work, working in the dish room, moving dishes, and it hurt worse and worse. I was like, dang, this is bad. Go to sleep. I'm like, it'll be gone tomorrow. Wake up the next morning. I couldn't flip my hand over like this. I was like, I could not do this. So, yeah, then I was like, holy crap. But I was so determined to get those air flares. I was like, no way, man. This ain't stopping me. So I went to the freaking grocery store, bought some ibuprofen, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. So just a little anti-inflammatory. It was kind of dumb. I don't really like taking any pills or anything like that, like drugs. Just a, you know, over-the-counter anti-inflammatory. Took that, started practicing air flares 2 days later again. Pain just wouldn't go away. Kept practicing week after week. Pain just still there, wouldn't go away. And it was hurt really bad, man. And it got worse and worse every time I was practicing those air flares, man. I would just be like at my desk, and at nighttime it would be horrible. And then I was like, crap, you know what? And then this is where I kind of start experimenting with a bunch of different like techniques to get over pain and stuff, over these things. So what I tried was one thing that I think worked was I wore a brace on my wrist when I went to bed. Because when you go to sleep, apparently, like, you twitch and you move and stuff. And when I woke up, like, in the morning, like most days when I didn't wear the brace, I would be super sore. But when I wore the brace, I felt more stabilized. So I wore a brace only when I was sleeping. And then I know I wore it in the day too, but I felt like it helped the most when I was sleeping. Just like a wrist brace, you know, keep my wrist still. And then I also tried glucosamine, chronodrin, and MSM, if I pronounce that right. I'm sorry, man. Alright, just looked it up. It's chondroitin, not chronodrin. I don't know what the hell. Chondroitin, my bad. The supplement I used that was like a full, you know, a full joint supplement. I actually still have the can. Oop, come to daddy. Animal Flex by Universal Nutrition. This is the one I tried. There's a bunch of different joint supplements out there. Dude, you know, there's still like 2 in here. Alright, yeah, this is what it looks like. So I swallowed those once a day, every day. Yeah, honestly not that bad if you don't like swallowing pills. I think this actually kind of worked, to be honest with you. Like, I noticed a difference in my joints. And then I also, sorry, I'm just so paranoid that it's going to stop filming. I also got, like, tennis elbow in my right elbow during the same time I got this. And when I started taking these, the minor tennis elbow, like from landing it, from impacting it over and over again, attempting to do the air flares. When I started taking these, the tennis elbow completely went away. So that's why I want to say this kind of worked. I don't know if it really worked for the more major one, but definitely for that minor tennis elbow, it totally went away, like within a week. All right, and then, you know, but this one didn't go away. So I tried this, wore the brace. I was like, crap. Then I started icing with the bucket. So I got the bucket of ice water. About 2 hours a day, I would sit there and dip my hands in for about 30 seconds, all the way up to here, in a bucket of ice water as I was studying for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then I pull it out and it would hurt. It hurt for like the first couple of times, but then I got used to it. So I dip it in for 30 seconds to a minute, pull it out about 5 minutes, do it again over a course of about 2 hours a day. And I think that kind of worked too, right? That really stimulated the blood flow. That was my idea. And then after that, what I did was I really tried to stretch it out when it started to get better. I took 3 weeks off though. Like in March, I just took 3 weeks off of like training and everything. I was like, you know what, this needs to get better. I took 3 weeks off. I had 5 air flares before. That's how frustrating it is. When I came back, I could barely do 2 air flares for about 4 freaking weeks. And it still hurt when I came back to it. But when I did came back, it was not as bad of a pain. And I started stretching it really a lot like this. I don't know if that's the best idea. If you just got an injury, man, don't try and stretch it too much. Honestly, they say don't try and do that. But this was like, I feel like I was like healed. I don't know. I just felt like I could take control and I was healed and I could just do it by myself. Yeah, no doctors or anything either. So yeah, I definitely recommend go to your physician and get diagnosed, or get the proper diagnosis. Don't take my word for it. I'm just sharing my experiences with you guys so you guys know what happens to me. And yeah, okay, so just what I'm saying, okay. So yeah, then I started stretching out 3 weeks after I took a 3-week break, and it just gradually got better over the course of like a couple months, and now it's almost, I'd say it's about 100% better. Honestly though, I feel like it's something that's like almost never gonna be completely gone. I stretch the crap out of it though, ice it here and there regularly, just be sure. But I have all my strength back and everything. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, those are the methods I tried with that one. That was like the major method where I started really experimenting with all this crap. I don't know, man. You try it, It's kind of expensive. Or you could try cheaper glucosamine, Chronodrin, and MSM supplements. Those are supposed to work for sore joints. Okay, moving on. So then I get air flares. Everything was good after that, I changed up my diet. Now, one thing I want to say that seems to be a common factor in each of these injuries is my diet was bad during every time I had one of these injuries. My diet was bad, in my opinion. Like, it was more processed food and kind of like a lot of like junk food, which is junk food in my opinion, like really salty stuff and stuff that was like processed and tons of like crap in it, and just like kind of like the school calf food. But then I figured out a way to kind of eat in the calf where it was like more healthy. I ate like more fruits and stuff to like fill me up instead of eating like a lot of like salted, like seasoned stuff, rice and potatoes. And I was just eating too many potatoes and stuff. But yeah, so honestly, every one of these injuries, I'm just honest truth is that it happened when I was eating bad. In my opinion, was bad. So yeah, then I come okay, so after this one heals up, I got these like minor pains in here, but I'd always ice it too, and those just seem to go away. But those are just minor. This one put me out, man. It put me out for 3 weeks that I took off, and it put me out those weeks that I was injured before I took the 3 weeks off too. So this was a pesky booger. And after that, coming around, everything's good for about another year and a half, and then my like lower back started to hurt real bad, and I don't know what the heck that was from. Dude, it just started to hurt really bad. Like, I don't know, I think I did some back exercise or something, but I thought it was going to go away within a week, but it stayed for a good freaking 4 months. But this January, it just freaking disappeared. It just went away. Like, what the heck, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But methods that I used to try and get over this was I juiced ginger. I added a lot of ginger to my juicing. If you guys watch any of my juicing videos, and I feel like that ginger just like killed that inflammation. And then another thing that I do was my friend told me about this. My friend Chucky told me about this. His friend told him about this. Was that with the ginger, he sliced it up and put it in his water. So I started doing that, and I started taking that to like workouts and training, and I feel like that really kind of like numbed up the pain during the training and stuff. I feel like that pretty much kind of worked. Like, I would say that was definitely on the scale of working and in between, like kind of working, like definitely in between there, like on the more positive side. So yeah, the ginger, man, get yourself some ginger. It's like a natural anti-inflammatory. Just give it a shot. It's cheap, but if it doesn't work, then hey, it's cheap. I mean, it's like, yeah. But okay, so moving on. Yeah, so about 4 months of that pain, and then I would also take in the shower. Cold water, man. I would go hot, for like the first little bit, but then I'd always finish on cold water, running it on the spot, because the method behind that is it squeezes, you get hot, all the inflammation goes to everywhere, then you squeeze it out with the cold water, squeezes out all the tendons and joints. I mean, it has to be ice cold, but I think it was cold enough, and to me, I'd say that kind of worked, because right after I'd feel pretty refreshed, and then the pain would kind of come back like after. But I feel like if anything, it kind of worked. That hot, cold water. Yeah, and that was it. That's all the major injuries that I've had. Man, guys, I hope this helps you guys out. I'm not like really recommending anything. But this is just my experience on like my injuries and stuff. So maybe it'll kind of like maybe I guess it could be encouraging for like those of you guys out there who are injured and are like, oh crap, am I the only one injured? Like, no, I've been injured too. But don't make this think that if you're just starting that you have to get injured. Honestly, like, just warm up and stretch out. A lot of the times too that I got injured, I was just too excited and I jumped into it way too fast without warming up and stretching out. So yes, really get flexibility and stretch out before warm up. Just try and prevent it from happening in the first place. If you do have an injury, I mean, definitely see a doctor. You know, you gotta get properly diagnosed. Even though I didn't do that, I'm being hypocritical. I'm just telling you. You could try some of these joint supplements. Oops. Glucosamine, MSM, Chronodrin. This is Animal Flex. All right. This isn't. They have They have other supplements out there, but yeah, Flex, not any of the other ones. It's just the joint one. All right, by Universal Nutrition. There's a bunch of other joint ones out there. You can check it out. Honestly, if I take one again, I'm gonna take like a supernatural one that's like, you know, really natural. Natural glucosamine, MSM, Chronodrin with like no like colors or like additives in there. Just something. If I take it again, but I'm not taking it right now. I'm feeling pretty good. My diet's pretty good, so and I warm up and I take my time. So yeah, so I'm doing pretty good now. Well, hopefully I don't jinx myself this video. Sorry guys to drag that on, but there you go. That's my experience. All right, peace. Have a good one, guys.